For the past 5 years, I've been working with a colleague at California State University in Long Beach, Jana Echeverria, on a federally funded research project to examine sheltered content instruction for English language learners. During this time, we were able to develop a model of sheltered instruction, train teachers in the model, observe them in their classroom, monitor the teacher change and the fidelity of their implementation of the sheltered instruction model, which we call the SIOP, and also look at some student achievement data. I'm very pleased to have found that our students on writing assessments that we have given them have improved dramatically between pre and post scores during the course of 1 year when they have been with the trained sheltered instruction teachers, when they are compared to our control students, who are also English as a second language learners, but their teachers are not involved in the sheltered instruction project. What I'd like to do, though, however, is tell you a little bit about the SIOP model, because I think this is where we need to move as a field towards delivering the best possible content instruction to students who are learning English as a new language at the same time they are being asked to study these core content areas. This particular model has 8 major components. Let me tell you about them. The first one is preparation. Within preparation, we find all the typical things that teachers would do to design effective sheltered instruction lessons. Under preparation, we have 6 specific features. These include identifying and defining the content objectives of any given sheltered lesson with regard to what students will be expected to learn that is appropriate to the curriculum for that core content area. But the other piece that we ask teachers to do is to define the language objectives for the students for that lesson. In other words, they have to think beyond just things like, oh gee, I have to cover the causes of World War II, or it's important to explain how magnetism works, to talk about the language issues involved with doing this, the tasks that are assigned or the readings that are assigned in these content areas. When we work with the teachers and talk about the language objectives, we focus on a range of areas. It's not simply the key vocabulary words, but it's also the type of writing that students would need to do, reading comprehension skills, or discussion skills and strategies students might need to negotiate with one another in the classroom, to conduct cooperative learning activities, for example, or to prepare an oral presentation. At times we ask teachers to think about writing objectives that they can use with the students. Again, we have found through the research that it is most effective when there are both language and content objectives in the sheltered instruction lessons. The other areas of preparation are also make quite a bit of sense to teachers. We want to think about having grade-level concepts being taught, tying into, again, the core curriculum, and in many cases, the standards that are being asked of students, either at the state level or national standards. The implementation and preparation of supplemental materials. What we find when we're working with English language learners is that they need more than a textbook or teacher lecture to be successful in these classes. The strategies and techniques will often involve bringing in Realia, such as maps or globes, science equipment that they will then use to do experiments, and other things along that line. But other supplemental materials might be things like graphic organizers that the teacher might use as a pre-reading or a post-reading activity. It might be some visuals that involve other kinds of pictures or photographs. These things are very, very useful for our second language learners because they reinforce the information and the practice that they are engaged in during the course of the lesson, but they also provide additional stimuli that goes beyond reading in a textbook or listening to a teacher talk. The final 2 features within the preparation category have to do with adapting the content where appropriate to the different proficiency levels of students, and also to have meaningful activities that help the students practice the curriculum objectives, both the language and the content objectives, that integrate the different language skills of reading, writing, listening, and speaking.